Peace, love, and balance, everybody. Peace, love, and balance, y'all. It's your girl Isha, the goddess of wisdom, also known as the Copper Queen, the Flower Holy Queen, the goddess on the rise, bringing the sacred energy change 222, y'all. Remember my bell? Y'all, I have been resting for the past couple of days. I had to really rest my body up and, mentally release. Y'all know I be telling y'all about that self-care, via, grounding outside, tree meditation, and, spiritual baths, yoga, all of that, y'all. Readings, therapy, counseling, whatever you got to do, y'all. When you go through things, do not go through it alone. Journaling, all right? Do not go through it alone, okay? We all go through things. So I want to tell y'all, thank y'all so much, all y'all that sent, call me, text me, DM'd me about my father. He is out of the hospital, still healing up. It's going to take some while, to heal up, obviously, gunshot wounds, but he is recovering, and that's all I can do is, manifest that he stay that way, y'all. But today, this is going to be tonight's here. Look, I've been asleep all day, but just relaxing. But tonight, I'm going to do just a quick holy day reading. It's not going to be with the cards, y'all. It's going to be more of a discussion, because I want to talk about some stuff that I posted today. Y'all know me. Even when I'm going through stuff, I cannot stop posting. I'm going to tell you right now, I could be going through stuff and y'all will never know it because I'm going to still be posting. I'm like, my life ain't over. Life still goes on. So some of the stuff I posted is getting into the Wild Wild West, y'all. And, us as American Indians on this land, and specifically the Cherokee, Trail of Tears. I posted, let's talk about that coming in. I talked about that. So I shared this on my page. It's on social media right here. You're not going to be able to see it so well on the screen, but it's on social media. It's called the Cherokee Trail of Tears, and about the forced removal of over 15,000 Cherokee individuals from Springfield, Memphis, Little Rock, Fort, Nashville, Knoxville, all these areas into Coker Creek, Charleston, okay? That was the Trail of Tears. And then they fled from there to Oklahoma. So some of us don't know that we do have family people that's in Oklahoma. We do. It's people, some of our family members are that were in Oklahoma with the what was it, the Boston bombings and all that stuff. I'm trying to think what else, the Black Wall Street and all that stuff. So our relatives, everybody didn't, some of them left, some people stayed. I know that my family, everybody didn't leave. A lot of my family have never left Tennessee. So I'm blessed to be, I'm like a living soul of my ancestors that stayed, that didn't get removed. They stayed. And the people that stayed are the people that were forced to go to church and study their practices. Y'all, welcome to the channel. Study their practice. So I want to talk about that too. I want to pull that up about that. So when I talk to y'all about, Christianity and all that, I really mean well about all that. So right here, I have this on my page too. This is how I be telling y'all we have family in California and all that stuff. So it got now y'all know we not black, we Moors, okay? But it got Black African Americans are composed of two main groups of blacks. Those are who were in the U.S. and the rest of the Americas before Columbus, which is the American Indians, because we were here first. Thank y'all so much. And the enslaved due to the church edict, all right, of the 1400 Peace King. And it said, and those who were enslaved and brought from Africa after 1492. Okay. So that's why they try to make us African American, because it was people brought over here from Africa back then. But it was so many years afterwards that happened. The church edict. Now, y'all, you can look that up. It's called church, EDICT. The church is a government. I'm going to tell y'all that. I promise y'all. How the church was created. That's nothing. Your Baptist church, your Jehovah's Witness churches, all those churches stem from the Roman Catholic Church. That was us trying to find a way to make it our own. But you can't make something that was created by an oppressor your own. Okay. It was created as a weapon against you. So just like the Indian Removal Act that Andrew Jackson put, all that was done by the church. The churches. All right. The church. And that's why Jesse Jackson. Hold on. Let me show y'all that. Hold on. Let's go back to that, y'all. I'm rested up, but I still need some more words. That's why Jesse Jackson, remember Reverend Jackson, right? He was a preacher. He's a traitor. This is what a traitor looks like. He made us African American and fought for us to be African American for his own, personal benefits that we didn't even realize. Played our grandparents and stuff into that mess, okay? Made us think we was getting something out of that. So they got us saying we African, right? And we're not. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, we have rights we have rights to identify with Africans, because just like those, we have plenty of books that they got Africans and blacks and all that joining together, because when we got mixed up here and then they did start bringing some of them over here, we mixed. We are mixed. Let's ring the bell. That's why Marcus Garvey started the Pan-African RBG. Because at that point, we was mixed together and we had the same problem. They was in Africa and they was here. And they caused us to have to join together. So nobody's telling nobody to disown African roots or none of that stuff. But you do need to claim your American roots here. Because right now, this is where the fight is at, over this land. There's nothing you can do unless you can really trace your ancestry back to somebody in Africa. You have no rights in Africa. You just don't. I don't have no families that I'm related to that's in Africa. So, and then you don't even know nothing about Africa. Now, even if you've visited the country before, unless you really just done networking and built a family down there with people and truly got connections, you don't know nothing about Africa. You didn't grow up there. Some of us barely know anything about America because most of us have not got to travel as of yet. You see what I'm saying? Not like that. So that's why I said that it's so much more that we need to be studying and knowing about that. Hold on. Let me pull this book up too. One more thing. Pull this book up. So these books right here, this is called In Black America. Now, this book is from 1969. It talk about all that, the Trail of Tears, before the Civil Rights Movement, and all the real stuff, okay? Even how, y'all remember the, what is it called? The Women's Act, all that stuff. The whole reason behind why women end up joining the women's movement, and they removed the males out of the home. So y'all know the when they was fighting in the Civil War and all that, when our men got home, which would be your grandfathers and great grandfathers, they promised them money for fighting that war that they did not get. And the women, while they was gone, and no man, remember all the factory jobs, it wasn't nobody working. So women during that time had to go to work, and their man was fighting wars and stuff. And a lot of the men died altogether. And then they did not send the wives and children any money. You just lost your husband. So when the ones that did survive and got back and suffered from mental illness, PTSD, that's when PTSD did not have a name then. They didn't call it that back then. It wasn't PTSD. So they came back with trauma, crazy as I don't know what, with their wives and stuff like that. Not all of them, but some of them. Then then the women, they put the women up. That's where the projects came from and all that stuff, support housing, and said that the man couldn't stay in the home. It was only for women and children. How make that make sense, y'all? He just went out and fought this whole war, and then he can't come home and stay with his wife and kids and be in the house. He's not a criminal. He just fought a war. He just, you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even really his to even be fighting, because we ain't supposed to be fighting in their militaries. So that was the beginning of the division right there. The trick, the woman that's just been stressed out with him being gone, didn't have money herself, because women didn't have rights back then. That's what made that start. So you took my husband away from me, put him in the stressful situation of fighting the war, then didn't give him no money when he came back. Nothing, no car, no nothing. And then put me in a situation to not have him and can't need him. And I'm on the government. The government is the curse, y'all. They made us go against each other. And we've been fighting that battle since then. Because women couldn't vote. None of that stuff. So what was she supposed to do? Be homeless? Now, all of us would want to say, I would have been homeless with my man. I've been homeless before, so I'm pretty sure I would have done it. I'm like, I would have been like, if my man can't come, I'm about to be home. We're gonna do what we gotta do. But back then, but if you think about it, it's not easy. It's not easy to just want to be homeless with babies back then, when it was still very racist. Okay, y'all need to get this book. Okay, this book, I got this book luckily at a book fair. Y'all know I'm a book nerd, at a book fair years ago, and they gave it to me for $12. It is not that much now. All right. It's not that much now, but it's from 1969 in Black America. See, these are the books that they don't want y'all to know about and that we don't read, okay? Because we don't even know they exist. So I go to book fairs, y'all. I go to most of the book fairs. They have books they give away for free or $12. Okay. That's like an encyclopedia book from like 1969, and I've been having that book for years, and it's not something you're gonna just read from cover to cover. You got to do like study it, okay? And that's what I do that for fun, y'all. And that's the stuff. You know what, I be wondering, like, I don't know why people don't want to do that. I know everybody's not like that, but it's hard to sit down for some people and read, okay? And it needs to be done. Now, getting back to the biblical stuff about everything, okay? So I posted this on my page too. This is Taj Tariq Bey, all right? This brother been on the business for a minute, okay? He woke me up so much, it's not even funny. Y'all can find his videos on YouTube pretty much everywhere, okay? I don't even think he has if he has a social media, I'm not even following him. I just know how to find him, okay? But it's called The Christian Black Codes of 1724, okay? So this is how they use the church to put all these laws against us. And this is why I tell you I'm not a Christian, okay? I don't identify as a Christian. I'm not for the church at all whatsoever. I do not care how people feel about it, because I know the origination of what the church was for. And no matter what you try to make it, this is what it's for, and it's still being utilized for just that, okay? Let me ring the bell on that. All that stuff it was used against you, okay? For those reasons. What is his name? Birth of a Nation. Remember Birth of a Nation, all that? He was a preacher, right? What did they do to him as a preacher? And that's the only thing that's the thing. If you don't remember, back then the only thing they would allow you to learn was the Bible. You couldn't learn nothing else. And then they taught you the way you had to learn the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Now we know the Bible has witchcraft in it. It has universal law in it. It has so many things in it. It's so many ways to break the Bible down. It has the age of Aquarius in it. I know all those things are in there, but even with all that being in there, it has a lot of dark stuff in it. Because I've told you about the Bible verses against the people like myself that speak to familiar spirits, how they lynched all the witches and the stonings of the children and the women. It's always the women and the children, okay? Yes, Nat Turner. Thank you for saying his name. Nat Turner. So they always have to destroy the woman and the children. So they always use the woman and the children against the male, okay? Against specifically our men, okay? And we just been in this battle. So you know what that started between the melanin man and the melanin woman? A never-ending gender battle. We have not recovered from the women's rights movement. We have not recovered from the Civil War and all the division that all this have caused. Then after that, our men, when he didn't have no money, right? See, and I'm going to use myself as an example. My dad has been in prison. When he didn't have no money and they wouldn't give him jobs and stuff like that, what do? Go to the streets and take it out on each other. Let's ring the bell. And then guess who provided them the resources to go on the streets? Like, y'all remember NWA? He said, we ain't got no planes. We don't have no ships. Who bringing the jugs and the guns over here? This thing about here in the U.S., you have to have a clean record, right? And a license to get a gun legally, right? How did criminals get a hold of guns and stuff? Now, I know there's dirty guns, but it don't matter. They provide the stuff for our men to do these things, okay? And that's why there's so much melanin crime, because they can't find a way to provide for their families and women. So what do? Take it to the streets, and then they take it out on each other. And they will literally kill each other to get to the top. And what they really want is true peace and happiness with a family and to be able to survive. I don't think most of the men that get into that life just chose to want to get into that just because they want to kill each other. They truly want money, and they're tired of being a part of this life and not being able to provide for their woman and the stress that comes with that. And then we got child support. Oh my God. This may piss some people off, but I gotta say it. I know I cannot relate. Before I say this, I do not have any children. I've never been married, so I don't know what it's like to have a baby and not have the father around. But I will say this. I know what it's like to be a child with her father not around, and my father was not be able to help my mother. You can't help my mama take care of me when you're in prison, right? So I know how that is, feeling neglected by your parent. All right. And I done been in state custody, because when my dad got arrested and they came and got us, all my brothers and sisters got split up, and we got put in state custody for some years because they wouldn't even let my mom get me back. They wouldn't let my mom get me back because her husband was abusive before in the past. And he used to beat the crap out of us. All right. So that's what I don't been through some stuff. So, but I do not agree with child support. I do not agree with child support. Let me tell y'all, child support is to keep our man down. They know he don't got the money. It's set up for him not to have the money. It's set up for him to be mentally incapable of being a father. Because most of our males did not have a father. Okay? Look at me. I tell y'all, I barely had a father. That's not, what I went through is not typical fatherhood that some young girl should go through, or a young man. So that's nothing. Even somebody being there does not mean you had a mother or a father. Just because you knew your father or you knew your mother and they was around does not mean, most of us has not had real parenthood. Okay? We just have not. They didn't know how to be parents in poverty. So they had to do the best that they could. And some of that was not always pretty or the best way. Because even if you one of them kids in your family, just say your family never was involved in nothing like that. Most family members that I grew up around, nobody has money. Let's ring the bell on that. Everybody in poverty. Everybody's been working. Like my auntie just retired from working for the state for like 30 something years. You know what I'm saying? It took her 30 something years working for a company to finally enjoy her life. And she really hasn't been able to enjoy her life. She hasn't done nothing. My mom too. She just finally, my mom had been working her whole life. And they finally just took her off from taking call. Because she's been a nurse. She's a surgical nurse. She's been taking call her whole life, which is every other weekend. You got to be on call for them to call you anytime they want to in the middle of the night. And so I never seen my mom because every time I turned around, she was at the hospital. She pretty much lived at the hospital. So you know what? She was leaving me at the house. All of my brothers and sisters with her husband with his PTSD butt because he was a Navy man, crazy from the military, and he just was crazy and beating us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, y'all. A lot of our brothers and sisters are mentally ill. Okay? And most men are never taught to express their feelings, to go get help, to be vulnerable. Sometimes women be too tough on men and they need help. Now, I'm not telling you to stay with a man that doesn't want to get his self-help. Okay? That's why I left my family. They didn't want to get help. I'm not with people that don't want to get help. I will help people that want to help themselves. But I can't make you realize that you're sick, that you need help, that you got to want to change. So y'all stay away from this. Stop trying to fix people that don't want to fix themselves. It's going to take them. Just like it took me realizing I wanted a better life. And I had to take the steps to do that, y'all. So I want y'all to know the government destroyed our melanin families. And you know what we're doing now? We'll do it. Most of us, not all of us, but I've been seeing so much. We just give up on each other. We don't have no patience with each other. And I feel like if we had more communication and honesty about our problems, that's what you need to do. If you got trauma, tell whoever you dating that. It's not enough discussions in friendships and relationships. We're not even talking about friendship. We're not talking about just relationships, y'all. I'm talking about friendships. Friendships are not solid enough, I don't feel like. Because we give up on each other as a people way too easily. Because it's just tough. Everybody traumatized. Everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody got some trauma. I don't think you can live in the U.S. and not have trauma. Heck, even Caucasian kids got trauma. Y'all know I got Caucasian friends. So they talk to us about how it was growing up with maybe having racist parents. And their parents didn't want them to be friends with with us. Because they weren't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? How they used to feel trying to they didn't understand why can't we like them? And they got frowned upon for being friends with somebody, as they say, black. Okay? They go through stuff too. Now, I want to get into the cowboy era, okay? Because y'all know I wear that proudly. So look, I posted this book, The Black Cowboys in the American West. So y'all remember that? I don't know if y'all, whoever got Netflix or who don't got Netflix, that new, I think it's called The Hate You Give, or it may not even be that. But it was something. My mama told me Tennessee and K are the most depressed states. It is. Tennessee, yes. And KY, yes. It's tough out here. It's a lot of stuff that happened out here. That's what I'm about to get into. So, the cowboy era started here, y'all. We're the cowboy. Let's ring this bell. That's what, I know this is Music City, okay? And that's why the country theme in Tennessee is so big, okay? Because the Cowboys was here, okay? The Cowboys are the American Indian men. Hold on. Let me show y'all this brother right here. If y'all remember, this brother right here, I got all this stuff is on my page. Bass Reeves right here. Bass Reeves. Now, they said he escaped from slavery and got raised by a Native American tribe. But let me tell y'all something. He was already an American Indian that got enslaved. Now, I don't think I've ever shared this, but my grandfather, when I did my family tree, my grandfather, my dad's father, was in the system as an unpaid field laborer. I was like, what? That they don't have it in there as slave no more. He was considered an unpaid field laborer. But my grandfather actually got free as well. So we have land and everything now that his slave master owned, and that's what my previous name was. I figured out all that stuff. I did my tree, y'all. So my previous name is literally, I know the man that gave my granddaddy that name and why we have that name. And you know what? Because of that name, it makes sense that why my family is so violent. You got to drop the name, man. Let's ring the bell. That's tied to a demonic person. That's not our name. It never was. So that's, okay, I'm going to get into that too let me break down the Bass Reed. I'm going to get into the names and why I changed my name and how my name is a tribal Cherokee name, okay? So look, Bass Reeves, if y'all remember, Will Smith played this brother in the Wild Wild West, okay? He was a marshal, right, working for the president. That was real, y'all. We was not slaves. They've been fighting. We've been, and that's another thing, hold on. Everybody keep thinking our president all our presidents have only been Caucasian. That's not true. We had a melanin president, okay? And if you seen the Wild Wild West, the guy that was the president, he had like dark brunette hair, beard and everything, slick, kind of like Abraham Lincoln. And y'all know the rumors is Abraham Lincoln was melanated, okay? But also, it's a lot of pictures that they show you that's not how these presidents really looked. All that stuff is a lie, y'all. He was darker than that, okay? We have had melanin presidents that they will never tell you about, okay? So, stuff like that. You know, back then, we was fighting for freedom then. Y'all remember that scene in there where he was talking about the Butcher of New Liberty and all the stuff that happened when all his family got killed. We have been fighting for a long time. That's where the cowboy era came from. Fighting for our freedom. Seriously, y'all. And it ain't never stopped. It slowed down though because everybody forgot about this. Everybody forgot. Everybody became Christian. It worked. The Christian Removal Act, it worked. So look. So getting into the names, y'all. I have shared this before, but it's been a while since I've shared this. If you want this, you have to DM me because I may put it in my story. Who knows? But look, so these are the names of the tribes. El, Bay, Day, Al, and Ali. All right. And that's why I said I am Isha, Ali, El. All right. Let me break these down. These are the 5 titles that also belong to the 5 civilized tribes, y'all. Listen to me on this. The 5 civilized tribes. So these tribes are El, that's El, Cherokee. And that's why y'all know I say that proudly. I am a Cherokee woman. Okay. Don't get it twisted. So look, then Bay, Choctaw. So that's nothing. You got to look up these areas. Where are you from? I'm going to tell you. Somebody asked me the other day, so have you done it? How you know you Cherokee? Have you done a DNA test? You don't need. Why do you want them to take your DNA to prove who you are? How do they know what your DNA from a Cherokee is? Y'all got to get smarter. They keep tricking you with that DNA stuff. Do not give them your DNA. Don't do that. Do your family tree. Where is your grandmother and your grandfather from, okay? Where's your homeland? My homeland is Tennessee. So look, and then Day is Seminole, D-A-E-Y, Seminole Indians, all right? Then it's Owl, Creek, and then it's Ali, Chickasaw. So that's where, so there was Chickasaw here. My middle name is Ali. So all this, now, let me tell you about this. The title L, which is what my last, and it's really, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start using it right. It's called an appellation now. Because the name means you're owned by something. They name something. Name means your property. It's an appellation. My appellation is Isha Aliel, okay? So it got, the title L means God of power, executive law, maker, and creator. Okay, so y'all remember, your name has power. Okay, and that's why Muhammad Ali changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali when he joined the Muslim faith. Okay, that's where all that came from. And guess, you see how powerful he was becoming. It's an energy to change your name, and you got to make sure you pick a powerful name, a powerful appellation. So it got Bey, means ruler or landlord, enforcer or officer. That's Bey. I know a lot of Beys. Dey means knowledgeable. All right, Dey. And then Al means the same as El, feminine goddess. So you could, so I know, so yeah, Al and El are the same thing. It's funny. My grandfather's name was Alva. Alva, y'all. Just tell y'all. And it got Ali, means exalted or most high. Yes, that's really well. You are a God, okay? That's what that means. Arm, leg, arm, head. Allah is God, and you are the God, okay? You are the God. I be telling y'all that you are the God. You don't have to worship nobody but yourself and live divinely, okay? Live in harmony and balance with Ma'at, ancient Kemet. That's what we're supposed to be doing. When you live if you live your life honorably and divinely in harmony and balance, you wouldn't have to worship nobody. Islam means I, self, law, and master. You can be in control of yourself. Religion is somebody that needs to be controlled and needs to follow instructions. Also needs to point blame. That's why people be like, the devil made me do it. The devil didn't make you do nothing. You did that. So that's what Christianity makes you lack accountability too. Because you want to blame somebody or look to somebody else to fix your problems instead of fixing it yourself. It's a handicap to it. Let's ring the bell, y'all. This is a realization. It's a handicap to this stuff, okay? It's not really good for you. It's not really good. Look what I told you how my family was. Telling me to pray about everything. Prayer without works is dead, as they say. Manifestations without actions are not coming. Okay? Everything that I have now, I worked for. I can't pray my bills to be paid. I had to go out and work and make money and get my bills paid. There was no higher power that did that. I am the higher power. Now, the higher power and your spirit guides can support you spiritually. Spiritual support is still different from you physically doing the work. They can't physically do anything for you. They can be by your side. They can motivate you and inspire you and lead you, but you have to listen and do the work. You have to do the work. Prayer doesn't do that. So you can't just sit around and lay up in the bed and say, man, I need $1 million, but you're not doing anything to get $1 million. You don't seem like you really want $1 million because you're not out here moving. All right. That's the delusion that Christianity did, y'all. And I want y'all to know that. So I'm not saying give up your Bible or none of that. I'm just telling you legally what this Christianity done. It divided us. Okay. It was a weapon. It's still a weapon. Y'all remember the Star Spangled Banner, the flag, the meat, all that stuff, y'all. And you know what trips me out about this? We know this stuff. A lot of us know this stuff. I've had people that knows what the U.S. flag is, that it's a banner and it's not a flag, and what it truly means, and who and how it was made and why it was made, and about the peace and treaty and everything. But they be like, yeah, I know, but so. They just numb to it. That's how numb we are. We're scared to be reborn. That's what I call it. You're scared to be reborn. It's been so easy to be a U.S. citizen and enslaved and indoctrinated that we don't want to see freedom because it's too much work. It's too much work and it's too much accountability. That's what we don't realize. Being a U.S. citizen has handicapped us. We don't want to live for anything. Most important, we don't want to live for ourselves, let alone each other. And they are causing division. Even getting married. Why is it so? It's expensive as I don't know what to get married if you do a wedding and all that. But I don't think if you go to the courthouse and get married, it's not expensive. But it's expensive than a mug to divorce. And then when you get married, once they tie y'all together, that's a slave contract. So when you get married under the U.S., that's a slave contract. That's why they can take out taxes and they make y'all do y'all taxes together. What? Do you realize that? I'm not getting married. I told you I'm having a private marriage. Me and my husband marrying each other. I'm not marrying the U.S. or the state or all that stuff. That's what you're doing. You just added you and your husband as property together. That the state own y'all and y'all marriage. So some of y'all Like men, I've had men, and women, they get mad if you say you don't want to marry them under the U.S. I'm not signing that piece of paper. I'm not. We can have a private marriage. Why do you need, that's another thing. Why do you need the government to marry you? You see what I'm saying? Why do you need the government, the government that has done all this to our families for the longest time to divide us down through our ancestry? Why would you want them in your business? That's what we got to stop doing. So I'm gonna be honest. Somebody posted about how a lot of males, it's a lot of single mothers out here because males have walked away. It's so bad. Like, you know what? It's a book that I've been reading. I told you about We Real Cool by this Belle. I can't remember her name, but it's Belle something. And she talks about how the males abandon the child because he's too ashamed, because he does not have the money to take care of his woman. But he'll take the risk being in relationships, getting married, having sex, knowing that he could get somebody pregnant because he wants love so much, and he does love his woman, that when the baby comes and he cannot provide for the baby, he thinks you're better off and he leaves. That's the trauma he's receiving. That's what's happening to our men. Yes, okay, that is a great place to be. But yes, on the same page, but it's tough out here for our men, and the toughness of our men and the pressures that he doesn't have the ability to take care of his woman. Then she's upset, and then you put him on child support, and you knew he didn't have any money. Let's ring the bell on that. That's another thing, y'all. That's really why I'm single. I'm gonna keep it real. I know money is not everything. I know that. But money is needed to provide for a family and a wife and a husband. We have to have money. So I'm not about to get involved with somebody and end up being a single mother and then get with somebody that I know he doesn't know how to take care of himself. I'm going to make a wise decision. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Some of our women don't want to take accountability that you knew he didn't have no money. You knew he didn't have nothing going for himself. And you was perfectly fine with that, laying up with him. You see what I'm saying? We need help. We need counseling. Delusion is real. A lack of accountability. And then the blame game is so bad, we won't even let each other heal so we can be together in peace and harmony. Y'all got to forgive and heal. And you got to do your part. Stop. I know so many people that be focused on other people. Dudes ain't this and women ain't that. What are you though? Be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Let's ring the bell, okay? But our main issue, y'all, is that we are not in our proper status as Moors and American Indians. Not having an identity is destroying us. Not knowing where you came from is destroying us because we don't have an identity. When you don't have an identity, you don't care about anything. You don't feel like you belong. So why would you care? You know what I'm saying? You're already confused. How can you love yourself when you don't have an identity too? When you don't have a culture. You see what I'm saying? That's why culture is so important. When you don't have a culture, how can you truly love yourself? Because you don't really know where you belong. You feel like a lost puppy, all right? And that's how they got us, y'all. So, hold on, let me go back to one more thing. I talked about the black codes. It's some more stuff I could have hit on, but I was like, that's going to kind of take us into another topic, and I want to stay close. So, getting back to this, okay, y'all. So, this young lady, I do not watch this show. I'm going to tell you, I didn't watch no reality shows because it's drama filled, and I just don't like that toxic stuff. So, Kenya Moore on Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? Y'all see her with her headdress on, just like mine, all right? So, apparently, she went onto a show and put this on. And y'all know, she's that show is, all that stuff is Hollywood. And I tell y'all about this. Hollywood is with the U.S. government. That's all the same thing. That's why I said I do not want to be a Hollywood star. You don't want to be. That's the stuff that you don't want to get into. I'm not even going to go any further on that one. But she got backlash like crazy for wearing that headdress. She got backlash, and she eventually had to apologize. She tried to defend herself for a minute. But she eventually had to apologize because I'm pretty sure they threatened to take her off the show, take her money and all this stuff, and she was going to be broke, right? For wearing a headdress that she actually has a right to wear. She do. But their delusion teaching you in the Native Americans. So look, Native Americans are not aboriginals. All right. Now, well, before I say this, I'm not saying this to offend nobody. These are all facts. Native Americans were in South America, and they fled to South America and took on our culture. Okay. And we started mixing with them. All right, that's how it always happens. We started mixing, okay, and then because all melanated. So that's another thing. People act like interracial couples is new. We've been mixing since back then, because everybody didn't hate us. You gotta think, they fled because they was going to be in harm for not wanting to fight. You see what I'm saying? And that's how they became Native Americans, because they joined us. And then we end up welcoming them in and having families with them and integrating them in. But they're not original aboriginals, okay? They're not the people that was originally on this land. They wasn't, okay? So you see how they be like Native American look? That's an insult, actually. Because this is not their original look. This is ours, okay? This is ours, okay? That we welcome them in because we have always been a loving people. Let's ring the bell on that. We have always been a loving people, y'all. That's how they got us. We welcomed them in. We loved them. You know what I'm saying? We taught them everything. We taught them our cultures and practices, and they fell in love with it, okay? So that's what I be telling you. They fell in love with it. And some of them got killed for joining us. That's what I'm saying. It's been a battle for a long time. They got killed. They got killed for joining us. Just like us. They got slaughtered and we got slaughtered. So that's why when I have Native Americans, it's crazy. You know what's crazy? I done had Native Americans contact me on Instagram. Not on Instagram. Facebook is horrible with these vultures. But they'll be like, take their head right off. Stop. I'm like, stop stealing our stuff. Y'all blacks are so confused. Go back to Africa. Baby, don't do that. Don't do that, because I can really hurt your feelings. I can really hurt your feelings, baby. You go back to where you came from. American Indian is melanin. They lied to us, making us think that it wasn't, and it never was. Yes, it was. It was always melanin. Why you think that Blackfoot Indian? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't they be trying to play you. All them Indians was dark, red, dark skin, locks and everything. And they erased all that stuff to make you think that we don't belong nowhere and that we belonged in Africa. No, baby. And let me tell y'all see what's going on with, I don't even have to follow politics. Y'all know I'm apolitical. I do not vote because I don't have to. I'm not a U.S. citizen. So it doesn't apply to me. But Biden, Trump, and all this stuff going on, all this stuff is a show. All that stuff is a show. It's so much stuff that they got coming that we ain't paying attention. Y'all better stack your copper, silver, and gold. Get your gardens up. If y'all ain't got them up, y'all better learn how to can, sow, everything. It's going back. It's going back to the way it used to be. And y'all need to nationalize. Real talk. Now, I'm going to tell you this. So it's a lot of people to be like, well, if they happen and they fall, we all going to be Indians. No, this is not how it's going to work. I'm going to tell you how it's going to work. Now, you're right. But if you don't nationalize now and undo all that paperwork, this is what they can do. See, this is what's happening right now. This is why this whole China thing, I'm about to drop right now. This is why, you know, the U.S. owe a lot of money to a lot of people. They've been using us to pay. They've been using us. Good for you, Ken. Yes. They've been using us to pay the fake Jews. I'm saying it. I don't care who get mad because they not the Jews. They've been getting us to pay for the Holocaust. Everybody done got their reparations, as they say, but us, and that's why we're trying to fight for reparations now. No, after reparations, we want the goddamn land back. Hold up. After reparations, give us the land. That's the reparation. This is our land. We don't need no reparations. We got land. It's the country. That's what we need to pay attention to. And that's what they're trying to do, give us reparations. So since they owe money to China, Russia, you see all this beef been going on? People got their hands on our country to be owners next of the American countries. And us not standing up to who we are, claiming our land, to let them know that you're not about to come back over here again and take our land again and try to enslave us to work for another ruler. Oh, y'all. Y'all, that stuff be having me depressed. Because we better wake up. They about to pin us off to somebody else, and then we're going to have to be doing, you want a Chinese president? Now you want somebody else coming to your land and telling you what to do, enslaving you? And you know how they treat Chinese workers over there? They be paying them 20 cents an hour and slaving them. You don't think they're going to try to come over here and do that stuff? Y'all know how Russians is? Man, I got an ex, he Russian and Jamaican. They a little crazy. Russians crazy. I'm like, y'all really ready for all that? That's some more violence. Russians is up there. They got tempers. If we join with them, it will be a great thing. But you don't want to be under rulership. We deserve to be under rulership as American Indians. And that's another thing. Nobody is ready to rule. Why not? Why aren't you ready to be leaders? And see, this is why it's too many Martins and not enough Malcolms, okay? Too many chiefs with this, no, too many Indians and not enough chiefs. That's what it really is. See, they used to say too many chiefs is not enough. No, it's too many Indians and not enough chiefs, y'all. We need some chiefs. I'm a chiefess. All right? I'm a chiefess. But we need the tribe together, everybody collectively in leadership roles. That's what a sharif is. A grand sheik, okay? All that stuff. Everybody has roles. So I'm going to tell you another thing. The church, y'all know how there's the preacher, the ushers, the deacons, and all that stuff. All that came from tribal stuff. The chief, the sheriff, the sharif, the different role, the peacekeepers, the sky watchers, everybody has a role. This is church. Let's ring a bell. This is real church. So that's another thing. Even the church, y'all, the churches got their techniques from our tribal culture. And that's why it's so familiar with us. The Bible and the whole church, even the altar, remember? When you go up to the altar, the preacher is on the altar. Why is it called an altar? And if anybody is spiritual, we have altars, right? I have an altar where you put what you want, your spiritual items on your altar, right? So it's really all the same practices that they put a whole bunch of stuff in it that is still very harmful to us. But that's why it's so familiar to us and easy for us to adjust to some of the stuff, because it came from us. It did, all of it. So that's how they get us so indoctrinated with it and focused in it heavily. Okay? It's so easy because it is. I said most of this stuff is. Most of the stuff, anything spiritually is always tied to nature and has the same. That's why it's important to study world religions. I've studied Hinduism, a little Buddhism. What else? I'm trying to think of some other stuff. I've even studied the Quran, y'all. Okay, studied the Quran. You got to study different things. That's something. You can't just study Christianity. You can't just study Christian. Once you start studying all different kind of religions, you start seeing the connections. You see what I'm saying? Ancient Kemet. I'm a big ancient Kemet girl. That's why y'all see I got my ancient unk behind me and all that stuff. That's another thing. Have you ever thought about that? I thought about that. So ancient Kemet is the oldest spiritual practice known. And that's on record that there's no kind of spiritual practices that they can really find like that past Egypt, past ancient Kemet. So how do we go from ancient Kemet to all these different world religions? Have y'all ever thought about that? I just think about that heavily. How do we come from that to that? You know what that takes? Research and study. Because that's what I done studied a lot of things. I'm still studying. You're never going to stop studying, y'all. You can't stop studying. Because the moment you stop studying, you lost. It's so much. You got to think this is like, remember I told you that book's from 1969. That other book I showed y'all the other night, 1939. This has been a long stretch of time, y'all, of information that you're not gonna be able to study all this information in one setting over a lifetime. I'm studying until I can't no more. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep studying. So we got to educate ourselves. Okay. Educate yourselves on what was really going on out there that we don't even know. This is another thing. Okay. I tell y'all about this. Moses, the story of Moses and his gypsy wife, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, she was a gypsy. They all, if you really read the Bible, both of them was in Egypt. Everybody went to Egypt. Let's ring the bell. All our prophets in the Bible, as they say, have been in Egypt. And after they came out of Egypt, they had their spiritual awakenings. Okay. It was going to Egypt. Okay. Jesus went to Egypt, as they say. He went to Egypt and came back. And he was a healer. That's another thing we keep forgetting. Okay. So that's another thing. All of this is symbolic, first of all. All of this stuff, the story of Jesus Christ and Yeshua, is really Yeshua, but all that stuff is symbolic. So look, so anybody can be Christ. Fred Hampton was Christ-like, okay? Malcolm X was Christ-like. Those brothers weren't prophets of their time. Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass. You know what I'm saying? These are prophets. So that Christ is an energy, y'all. It's an awakening. That's why he got the title Christ, okay? So y'all remember, he got killed for being a healer. That's what we keep forgetting. You see how they tricked us with that? Christ was never a Christian. Let's ring the bell. He was never a Christian. He got killed because he wasn't. He was teaching people. He was going in nature. Remember, talking to in nature and coming back, healing people. And remember, all them people found him in the forest. His energy was so magnetic, people could find him anywhere because he was vibrating that high. That's why you always see him in photos with the halo over his head, right? And that's how he was a god on earth. As a physical man, as they say, healing people. That's why he got killed. That's why he got killed. He got killed because he was teaching people that they can heal through nature. They can heal through, pretty much, y'all remember he healed the blind and healed the sick, right? With his hands. He was a Reiki master. That's some shamanic stuff. How he heal people with his hands, as they say, praying over you. Those are shamans. Those are shamans. Y'all know, I'm a shamanic witch. That's what that is, y'all. He had energy. So that's another thing. When you raise your vibration so high that you're in true balance and harmony and pure and in Christ energy, as they say, you can emit your energy and heal people. They can just be sitting next to you and you can heal people. That's why you become a magnet. And typically people want to draw energy from you. They do, because you're a healer. All right. But that comes from you healing. Okay, we're not going to get there when we don't, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally heal. And that's why I told you I had to leave my family. And when I left my family, my spiritual gifts started going up, and they still been activating. They just activate more and more and more. And I also do my self-care. I go outside and do my grounding and all the stuff that I'm supposed to do to continue to awaken my gifts, y'all. And bottom line is, even down to the eating, you have to eat better. You have to keep better company, okay? You really have to be at peace and harmony. All right. Thank you so much. And that's what Jesus did. He was surrounded by so many people that was helping him. That's the 12 lost tribes that was supporting him. All right. And that's why he had 12 different people that left all of that stuff to serve with him, not serve him, serve with him. He needed them as much as they needed him. Okay, so all of them was, and since those are the stories that they don't tell y'all. There was healers and everything, and they had their own pretty much community. So when people was leaving other kingdoms to join Jesus, and he was saying he was the king of the Jews, that's why they killed him. And that's where the book of Genesis comes from, which is Isis. Mary is Isis, y'all. They just keep changing the name. Let's ring the bell. Mary Magdalene is Isis. Okay? That's the same person. That's the same person. They just keep changing the name. And we have to study ancient Kemet to know that stuff. Y'all need to get the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's so many books, y'all. It's so many books. I got like 5 to maybe 10 books on ancient Kemet, okay? Study ancient Kemet. Where my uncle at? Hold on. This is our cross, y'all. This ain't even a cross. And why do you think the cross looks like this? Okay? Y'all remember, the church cross doesn't have this. They took the feminine out. So the cross from the Bible, they say they hung, Jesus on the cross, Yeshua, is straight like this. Okay? They just took the feminine out. Y'all know this is the woman's womb. And this is the man's phallus, okay? And this combined is about eternal life. Because the man and the woman together creates life, okay? And this is her cords, her tubes, okay? That's what this is. Why? How did we come from this to going to kicking the divine feminine off the map, baby? Okay, just kicking okay, Bobby Hemmett talked about this heavy. Christianity was to divide you from your woman. Let's ring the bell. That's all it was ever doing, to get you away from the divine feminine. Your woman is still a goddess, and they don't want you joining with that goddess and being like you was back in ancient Kemet. Powerful. Pharaohs. You see what I'm saying? They can't ever let that happen. Now, once again, I don't think all people are this way, but I'm talking about how we got to where we are now. We're talking about the history behind everything. And we had the opportunity this is the age of Aquarius, y'all. This is the new world order. We had the opportunity to get back to our rightful places again, but we got to heal, y'all. And the first step to healing is admitting that something is wrong. Okay, let's ring the bell. When I went to counseling, y'all, that was the best decision I ever made. I woke up back in 2020. I was having a great time. Y'all know I'm an introvert, so I was loving the lockdown. I didn't have to go to work. I could sit up at home and just read books, drink tea, smoke weed, and play and be in my garden and just be free. And I ain't got to talk to nobody. Oh, I was on vacation, y'all. Oh, yeah. I traveled during the pandemic because I drove. Y'all. You know, you can drive. So I got in my car and I took me a bunch of trips during 2020. And that's when I started realizing I needed help. It hit me because that time alone, I was like, it's something just hit me. And that's when my spiritual awakening really kicked in isolation, y'all. That's another thing. Y'all need to be by yourselves long enough to actually feel your own emotions and your own thoughts and stop being heavily exposed to people all the time. You don't even know how to feel. You don't even know your own feelings because you're never alone long enough to analyze anything and to think about anything. So when I had all that time alone, I started therapy. At the time, nothing was actually really wrong, but something in me said, you should go get counseling or something. Just start counseling. Just like I told you how I had that call in last year that told me if I don't get away from my family, I was going to die. And then look what happened recently. It's been nothing but guns and fire since I left. You know what I'm saying? The universe is speaking to us. We got to listen though. Trust your intuition. If I had never trusted my intuition, I'm pretty sure that where I am now, I would not be. And they keep proving to me why I need to listen. And I do. All right. I'm telling y'all. So I think that's all I got for y'all. That was a quick reading. Y'all know it's a new moon. So the new moon is officially tomorrow. It's a new moon in Gemini. And it's going to be full tomorrow. So this is the eve of the new moon into tomorrow, y'all. And that's new beginnings and fresh starts, y'all. Y'all can book a new moon reading with me so y'all can figure out what's this new phase that we're going into. You know, the moon phase is cycles and stuff. These are the cycles. And that's another thing. The moon keeps being reborn. Keeps going through changes. That's why I'm a moon witch, y'all. The moon always changes and transforms and be reborn. That's what the moon is symbolism of. That's why y'all need to tap into the moon. So if y'all can, get y'all a little fire pit. Like I tell y'all, I love my fire pit. Do a fire ritual under the new moon. Get that. For that fire rituals are the bomb.com, y'all. Let me ring my bell. I love doing fire rituals. I just love fire though. You know what I'm saying? I've always liked fire. But because fire calms me down, and water. I like water. Water cools me down and fire calms me down. You know what I'm saying? So look, tap into that. Do all that tomorrow. And I am going to do a live on the new moon for the Gemini new moon. I don't know when right now. Y'all see I did this one late because I had to get some sleep, y'all, from the last couple of days and just rest up mentally from a lot and release and stuff. I'm a journal. Y'all journal too. Journaling is very good. That your journal is not a woman thing. I got brothers that journal. Men need to journal. Write stuff down and hear your own thoughts. Like just journal about how your day went. You'd be surprised what'll start happening if you just start writing and be like, well, today I did this and I did that, and then all this other stuff will start coming out. You be like, I didn't even know that was in me. That's how it be. You be like, I didn't even know that was in me. So y'all, If y'all like this content, please follow me on Sacred Energy Exchange 222 on YouTube. Y'all know for my YouTubers, I am going to upload this on YouTube. I'm really getting my followers over there more. And also follow me on TikTok and Facebook as Goddess on the Rise, y'all. And definitely here on Instagram, do follow Hootie Queen, y'all, because ever since I had Goddess on the Rise is trademark. But people done made pages like Goddess on the Rise, and now you can't find me with just Goddess on the Rise. So I had to put follow Hootie Queen. So if you want to find me on Instagram, it's going to have to be follow Hootie Queen because everybody copying. It's crazy. But follow Hootie Queen. And by the way, yeah, still book those new moon readings with me. And that's at Sacred Energy Exchange 222 at gmail.com. That's Sacred Energy Exchange 222 at gmail.com. Y'all, if y'all want to donate to me, I would greatly appreciate it. I got a trip. Y'all know I got 3 trips coming up in July. I'm going to tell y'all those again. So I have Houston, Texas in July on the 7th. And that is going to be the Witches and Bruja event. And then I have Atlanta, Georgia with Takers with the Moors. Like I told y'all, y'all need to come out there, drive out to Atlanta. Y'all need to learn how to move around a little bit and go. I do all the time. I'm finally able to be a vendor. I stayed traveling and stuff like this. And I have an event in Chapel, Tennessee. It's a Harry Potter event. I meant to tell y'all about, I meant to say that yesterday on my live, but it was a Harry Potter event. I love that. So for witches and wizards, and that's going to be fun. Y'all know I'm a Harry Potter freak. All right, let's ring the bell. I broke that down to y'all about how Harry Potter is the whole story of Harry Potter and the witches. Harry Potter is technically Christ. He's the chosen one, right? I posted about that a while back, but I ain't gonna get into all that. But yeah, y'all, all this stuff is aligned, y'all. They just keep putting stuff in movies to help symbolize everything back to really the same stuff. So thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. I think I'm gonna give me some rest. I still am tired. I just want to do this for Holy Day and tap in with y'all and drop on y'all. So I am getting ready for the new moon reading. I'll be doing that soon. So thank y'all so much. Until next time, y'all have a great Friday night. Happy Holy Day. Peace, love, and balance.